Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey at Ripe Color, and this is Tarot Tuesdays. This week, my guest is the lovely Debbie from Freebird Spirit. Yay!
Yay!
And we are discussing the card of the week. Well, the card. Well, whenever you watch it, the card of the month or whatever. And we are discussing the lovely. Wait, I do this. It's magical. The Empress.
Well, it is magical. It is magical.
This is indeed. Wow. Wow. See, the Empress, one of her key words is abundance. One of her key words is abundance. And that is indeed
the biggest card.
Oh my God.
The biggest card you all ever
I think that would be a big card for a giant.
So you all can see this, right?
Very rich symbolism in that card. Very, very rich symbolism.
Love it. So much yellow, right?
Yeah. So the way I've organized this is that I introduce my guest, Debbie from Freebird Spirit, and she has a YouTube channel, and she's a very wonderful reader, and she does a lot of collaborations with a lot of other interesting readers. She offers personal readings, and so you're being my guest. I play Merv Griffin. So you're being my guest. I loved Merv Griffin. What is your interpretation? What is your experience? What is your knowledge of the Empress?
Well, I love the Empress because she embodies so much. And so, but before I get into kind of what we all kind of know of what she embodies, I kind of want to go back to the beginning. You know, she was introduced in, I feel like it's the 1400s, but I think it was like around 1404 was when she was introduced. She was not, when she first came, she wasn't depicted as a pregnant woman.
Mm-hmm.
She really, she was depicted from royalty, the queen. And back then they literally, they would, and this went on for a really long time, for hundreds of years, where the royalty would commission these cards to make after themselves. So the Empress was often depicted after the queen of that, wherever.
Principality.
Yeah, wherever here, but here on Earth, but wherever on the Earth, like, I don't know, different kingdoms, whatever, but they would often do that, and the emperor would be the king. So interesting. So if you find some of these old, if you guys want to do research and kind of look up some of these old cards, it's pretty cool to see the differences and so forth. But they didn't show her. She often was the person who literally did reign over the court. Mm-hmm. So she would be sitting there with her, and you see this, you know, her scepter. Mm-hmm. She would often be using that scepter is pretty much in most more of the traditional feel cards, and that's the scepter is a beautiful representation of power and authority, because it's not harsh. It comes from that feminine, more feminine place. So that's beautiful. But back then, she often was the one who ruled over the court. Mm-hmm. And made those decisions. And so that you see that, but you see her mostly kind of standing with her scepter. And then later on, it came in, and she's the shield comes in later, right? So you have the shield, and then you have the scepter, and the shield brings in that protection and so forth, as you know. So then the differences on the shields come out, right? So you'll see the different emblems on the shield. Now we see that the Venus symbol, correct? Is that's that Venus symbol on there now?
Venus. Yes, that's Venus.
So that's where we've landed now. But back in the day, it would be their crest, right? The crest of whoever they were depicting. Isn't that interesting? It also had other, you know, over time it had some other symbols that they would put in depending. So one of the things I wanted to share, the main thing about this card, and I wrote it down here. Let me find it. I thought I wrote it down. I did. Here it is. So this is was placed on the hundreds and hundreds, 1,000 years ago. I mean, forever ago. This, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from Revelations 12:1. So if anybody's familiar with the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
it's literally a Bible verse. And this is kind of where this was started to be birthed.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the incarnate of motherhood. And they literally, the Empress was the person who, where this motherhood comes from, Jeffrey,
Mm-hmm.
is that back in the day, it was important that the Empress mother bring the heirs, right?
Right.
So she needed to produce those heirs to continue and preserve the empire, for the dynasty to continue on.
Right.
So and also very often associated with the Virgin Mary too. I wanted to throw that in too.
Right.
So anyways, that's a little of the background. That's just a little tiny bite of it, you guys. It's so very interesting where she comes from, and how she over the years then moved into this pregnant. They showed her pregnant later on.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 1600s is when I feel like they started to show her pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Or then you won't find any depictions of her being pregnant. So, all right.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about that because, you know, she's a 3. So 3, I kind of knew this was going to come up. 3 is the energy of creativity in the cards. And the 3 represents the Vesica Pisces. The Vesica Pisces is this shape. It's divine geometry. I drew it really poorly. It's basically, and you can't see that at all. It's 2 interlocking circles.
There you go. There you go.
2 interlocking circles, right?
Yep.
Which form this shape. So the understanding on a spiritual level is like it's the dark and the light. It's the male and the female coming together and forming something new. So the question is it the energy of the duality that forms something new, or is it the womb itself that gives birth to the 2 of them? And I think that because this is really the energy and the shape of the womb, right? It's sort of like almond. And I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is it's both the duality coming together and forming something new, and this unity forming the duality. I think that's what's going on. So as you're talking about, you know, her initially being just a queen on earth, and it's almost like if you sit long enough, a pregnancy occurs, you know, like a divine pregnancy. If you just sit long enough, it expands. It becomes something other than what it is. It's fascinating. So there's a real energy of, for me, a lot of times with the Empress, and when I'm really feeling a lot lately, is this energy of wait, of allow the pregnancy to be the pregnancy. It's like, I'm not, oh, well, I'm going to have a boy, I'm going to have a girl, it's going to be this month. It's like, no, the job of the Empress is to be at ease. Her job, and to be you talked about the queen. So the queen would be like the hostess of the royalty and of the people as well. And her job is to sit and be gracious and wait and there's a sense, for me and the Empress, there's this profound sense of ease.
Yes.
It'll happen when it happens. Everything is set up. I'm ready. It's abundant. And there's no, it's like going to a really elegant party and the hostess is not running around checking. She took care of everything already. Everybody in the kitchen knows what they're supposed to do. Everybody else knows what they're supposed to do. Her job is to wear a beautiful dress and to say lovely things to her guests. That's her job.
And interesting, because I feel like this flows right into this next part. The Empress literally embodies the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. So she's already gone through. So if you do the tarot as a story,
right,
and you go in, and you go in the order, you see the progression of each card. 1 going to 2, 2 going to 3, 3 going to 4. Whatever. If it's swords, cups, whatever. She's gone through it all, and so she's here now. She's literally embodied all those queens and the high priestess. It's part of her as well. So that combination creates that Empress energy. So that's what we're looking at when this card comes through. It's powerful, guys. So yeah. And moving into kind of how the energy of today and the Empress of today as it comes through. And I love that about the tarot, is that each generation, as the world changes and moves, the cards do too. The cards do too. So they're alive. So I could have been looking at this in 1800 and looking at this, and you would be receiving messages of the 1800. I'm looking at it today at 2022, same picture that's been around for ages, and still receiving messages, but of today, through the same massive energy of the Empress, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. She is absolutely the incarnate of Mother Earth, creation, and knowing and birthing and creating and doing all that. So if you're doing a yes no question, or if you want to know yes or no, she's a yes.
She's definite. She's a definite yes. Some of them are like, well, maybe it's a yes. She's a yes.
She's a yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's bringing in, I think we talked about this a little bit. She is bringing in that Venus and Taurus energy with her, and then in that numerology, the 3, like you said, that's super powerful as well. So basically, you have the Queen of Heaven touching Earth and creating here. I mean, she's amazing, guys.
Yeah. And Venus is definitely the original Queen of Heaven.
Right.
Venus is definitely the original Queen of Heaven.
What was her name? Aphrodite, right?
Right, Aphrodite, and even before that, she's Inanna, she's Ishtar, she's Astarte, she's all of it. She's all of it. And if Venus is, so Zeus and Hades and Demeter and all them, they're on one level. Venus is before them. Venus is born of Uranus is everything is cut off. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then it's thrown into the ocean, and it's out of that she's born. That's how Venus is born. So she is older than old. So she has the knowledge of of the previous generation, and she just shows up, and here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am. Graciousness, beauty, love, generosity. She has her fierce side too.
Pleasure. Don't forget that.
Pleasure.
She's
Right.
about pleasure as well.
Right.
You know, think of her as like this pure, but she also is pleasure.
Yes.
Yep. So don't forget that as well. And the great thing about her is, yet they depict her as a woman, but it doesn't have to symbolize a specific gender.
Mhm.
She literally is bringing in an energy, wanting to bring you a hunger for growth. So
What a way, beautiful way to put it.
yeah, so just remember, it's not gender specific, even though we're representing and we talk about queen. It's literally just taking us back to the collective conscious of understanding. And she's just symbolizing anybody who's hungering for that growth.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and another thing that she's reminding me right now of is when she can appear as well when she's trying to bring in a message just for you. And I feel like she's actually bringing in this message for us all right now. It's time to be kind to yourself
Mhm.
and search for the beauty
Mhm.
and happiness in your life,
Mhm.
because in doing that, it literally will bring you back to that growth part as well. But don't get caught in the box. She's saying, don't get caught in the box of narratives of what it means to be the Empress.
Mhm.
Some of the things we've talked about, there's not a box to it. And so, and there's not a narrative. An Empress, even though she's shown pregnant, doesn't mean she's barefoot and pregnant and cleaning the dishes in the, right? No,
Right.
that's not who this is.
Right.
And so, yeah, that needs to be clear as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely, I think this is the card for me also of more than others, self-love. There's this real energy of self-love and
Yes.
of being like, she's in the garden. She's super duper relaxed. She's wearing this big loose dress. She's
Yeah.
sitting and she's letting the birds fly and the flowers grow and the flies even, like it's all there. It's all there. And, it's almost like her children, she's almost like Mother Goosey.
Yeah.
And, not Goosey, but and like the children are running around and she's like, the children are running. I'm lovely. I'm enjoying the breeze. I'm very like at ease. And that's the energy I get from her. So, and it's like, there's a sense of self-acceptance, of self-love, allowing things to be what they are, enjoying them for what they are, like that, like very, there's a sense of relaxation and a sense of, abundance and allowance. It's also about intuition. It's really about letting it in. Oh, she's like a Peter Max version.
Yeah.
That's quite the dress.
And I love, when you said the dress, I'm like, oh, I love that one. And you notice that this one, she has her shield and she's not holding it. It's just down. She just trusts.
Right.
She trusts. And that cat is that psychic intuitive part, I feel like, but yeah.
Right.
But when you were saying that flowy dress, I was thinking of that. Just sitting there. So also I wanted to kind of bring in, if you get the card, if you guys read your cards in reverse, when she comes, it's not a negative at all. She can never be negative, I don't think. It's more of an opportunity and an encouragement to kind of balance her back up, because it shows that there's some kind of imbalance here with your masculine and feminine energies that we all carry. Again, this is not a gender thing, but she's just kind of reminding you to get, oh, okay, we need to bring this back into balance.
Mhm.
And so wherever it fits, whatever you're doing or reading, whether it's love, money, job, whatever, there's some kind of balance that needs to take place that with that feminine male energy there. So like you focus too much maybe on material needs rather than, so it's kind of wherever the reading fits, but I never see her as negative, nor do I see her as a challenge, even if she comes in reverse. I just feel like it's an opportunity that she's reminding us, okay, let's look at
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's almost like, okay, let's just rearrange, like, let's put the lamp over here and like, it'll be fine. Just let's move the lamp a little bit and like, now everything's good. It's a little bit like, it's that simple. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, as opposed to, oh, I have to go deep into my cycle. And it's not about that. Not about that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just reminding us we need to balance a little bit of stuff. So I'm so happy, Jeffrey, you asked me to come on with her because I love her so much.
It's funny how I always, it just ends up like that. It just sort of ends up like that, So like if I were my own guest on my own show, of course, I would want the death card.
Oh my gosh. Which is also a beautiful energy.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, yeah. Very powerful, very powerful. I mean, they're all powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the way of, because that's truth. When we move into a change, even if we sell a home and move homes and we move to the home down the street, we still feel a change and a death, right? We still feel that shift, and we still have to grieve. We grieve kind of the loss of that, and like that, and moving on to creating new memories in a new home. There's still that sense of death. And so it's just embracing our human, I know we're not talking about the death card, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's why I don't have a script, because it's like whatever comes out is whatever comes out.
I love talking tarot, so sorry.
No, that's why, all y'all have to watch the whole series.
Yes, y'all watch the whole series. Yeah, it's just great conversations. And when
the other thing that I get out of like the symbolism in her, well, she's wearing pomegranates, right? This is pomegranates on her dress. So pomegranates symbolize the womb, and the high priestess also had pomegranates. And it's about fertility. This is also, it's red, gold, and green. Look at the card. It's red, gold, and green. When you put together red, gold, and green, this is about abundance. This is about luxury. Yeah. Red, gold, green. When you put those three together, it's like they're vibrating off each other. It's like, whoa, that's what's going on. And I always see, I think actually in your card, it's even better. Because this is a different deck. I don't know what deck I have, but this little thing over here, this to me is like the pineal gland, right? So that's the gland, like that's in the middle of your brain, which symbolizes your third eye. That's why pines always show up.
And it looks like a brain in there, right?
Right. So this is your mind's inner vision, your interior TV. Oh, I see myself on vacation. I see myself in a relationship. I see myself owning a business. I see myself. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. She's tapping into that, and she's kind of helping you to make it manifest.
And letting it flow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a much better in your card, because in my card, I don't know. There's something wrong with the flow. I don't know. She needs, I don't know. She has to call Roto-Rooter or something.
Yeah. So that's the
barely
beauty
see it.
Yeah. It is flowing, and she doesn't push it. She allows it, right?
Exactly. She's all about allowing. That's it. One of the real keys to her too, is really allow. Allow. I
love it. Just have to show this one. Here's the Empress in this card. So you can see the river flowing pretty well in hers, right?
She she's pretty relaxed too. I like a little outfit.
Yeah, look at her. Little.
Is she a frog? Sort of.
No, she's just like that old cartoony feel,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Betty Boop in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And look at the trees are even, they have eyes.
yeah.
Love it. Anyways. Yeah, beautiful energy here. Trying to see what else she wants us to say. So that crescent moon too. I feel like there's something with that crescent moon. So in the old ones before here, there's a crescent moon here, and really showing the ebb and flow,
Right.
of emotions. And so it's funny, in the new ones they don't have it, but it was meaningful.
Well, in the traditional symbology of the Queen of Heaven, who becomes Isis, who becomes the Empress, who becomes Mary, who becomes all that, she's standing on a crescent moon. And I think the crescent moon is, for me, she allows herself to be pregnant. She allows herself the time for the baby to develop, to one day give birth to it. So it's about the cycle of, okay, I have my vision, I have my creative thought, I have my, and I'm planning a party, and the party will happen in the future. I'm not sure when, but I'm planning the party. It's a little bit like that. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's a process. This is about, she's really about process in a way.
Yeah. Yep. Some of the decks I've seen with her in it too, it really shines the light. So it makes it, if you are a person who uses more than one decks and you're doing a reading and all of a sudden it's like, no, I want you to use this other deck, there could be meaning behind the depiction of the Empress that comes in through the reading. But I love the ones that really show her closely associated with Gaia, because she truly is, she is that doorway. She is that great Mother Earth. And so I love that too. So if you're ever doing a reading in regards to climate change and all that, I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up in your reading, because she is that representation of Gaia. All I wanted.
Yeah, and she's also like a good representation of health, of wealth, of abundance, of creativity. And the thing is, with the creativity, it's kind of like, oh well, I had an idea. It's like the ideas just keep coming. They just keep coming. You just sit in the garden long enough. It's like, this month will be that flower, the next month will be that flower, the next month will be that flower, and then it just keeps on. You don't have to do anything. You don't have, all you have to do, your job is to sit in the garden. You don't have to do anything. It's coming.
You just are. You just
right.
And you're bringing that energy. It just is flowing through you. You just have to sit there, and like you're saying, literally. Yeah. I mean, the other thing that she brings forward is confidence, and she knows her worth. And the world has tried to take that from us. Now, those, we can list who, all the, what do you call it, the marginal groups. We have the LGBTQ, we have the feminine, we have the people of color, and all the challenges of that the world has tried to take away our worth, right? And try to put us in a place, and in this narrative that right now, obviously, we're all trying to break out of, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Empress brings in, the reminder of our worth, of and strength and confidence, which reminds me, the strength card also is part of her. So you have the strength, the Hierophant, and all the queens. That is the Empress embodiment.
Wow.
So yeah. So if anything, today, let's take away that our worth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lovely. And so here I am in Mexico, and I have this deep thing going on with Guadalupe. And I'm Jewish. I have this profound thing going on with Guadalupe, because for me, Guadalupe, she has nothing to do, she has very little to do with Catholicism, honestly. Her basilica is built atop the Aztec fertility goddess. Shocking. And my understanding of Guadalupe as the Queen of Heaven, right, is the child that is loved can do anything. The child that is loved can do anything. And this is who she is. There's room for every flower in the garden. Bloom, bloom. She's basically saying to you, bloom, 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 bloom. I'm a violet. Bloom. I'm a daisy. Bloom.
Exactly.
Bloom, 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 bloom. Because sometimes it's like, well, I don't really want to be a violet, shrinking violet. I don't really want to be a dandelion. I don't really want to be a tulip. It's like, you're a tulip, enjoy being a tulip, be the best tulip you can be.
Yes. You're meant to be.
That's the energy. It's about generosity and grace and allowance and room in the garden for all. Be the best, whatever kind of flower you want to be. And it's maybe somebody sitting there watching this saying, I'm a weed. Okay, well, then be the best weed you can be.
Be the best one. Yeah.
Right. Dandelion, which is a weed, has all these enormous healing properties. You could eat it, you could make tea out of it, you could dye stuff with it. It's like, okay, I'm a weed. Okay, well, then be a good weed.
It gives life for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very beautiful. I know I'm going to take her with me the rest of the day.
Me too.
And people are going to say on the bus, in Spanish, what's your name? And I'll say, Guadalupe. Venus. No, I don't know how to say Venus. It must be, it might just be Venus. But the V sounds like a B. Venus. I don't know. I'm making shit up. All right.
Well, make it till you make it.
Yeah, no, I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
At least you're trying.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Oh, before we go, tell us what's going on your channel. I know you have a lot. You do a lot. I know, because you have the Monday thing, which I've watched a few times, which is fabulous. Where you women empowering women. What do you call that?
Yeah, women empowering women, but all
okay.
are invited. It's not just for women.
Yeah. Okay, and what else? Tell us.
Fun experience. So yeah, Mondays I'm on with that. Also on Mondays earlier, I'm on with Mark, Spirit Whisperer, and we do animal readings. And
wow. Yeah, that's new, no?
That's newer.
Yeah.
And so love that. And then on Wednesdays, I do Inquiring Minds. And then my membership only Fridays, I do tonight, it's Newsflash. And tonight I'm on, well, it doesn't matter because this is recorded. So, anyway, so.
But you do that regularly, the news.
Regularly, every Friday.
Right.
Yep. And then Sundays, I do 11:11. And then also coffee on Scott's channel. So lots of lives. If you want to reach me, freebirdspirit.com. I'm also doing teaching classes with Intuitive You, Kim from Intuitive. And so we always have some classes going. And so check that out. And then also personal readings. So yeah, that's who I am. Thank you, Jeffrey, for having
You're
me.
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
I always like hanging out with you. You know that.
Thank you. Yes, me too. Me too. Me too. And I, considering all the different, like all the little aspects that you have to your channel, you are the Empress. It's like, oh, well, we have room for, okay, I'm gonna daffodils and rhododendron, and I'm trying to think of new flowers, peonies and chrysanthemums.
Look at you with all the flower names. I'm like rose, tulip.
I would love to know all the names in Spanish, actually.
Oh.
I mean, Rosa is easy, Lila is Lily, some of them are pretty similar, but some of them are like, oh, really? Is that what you call it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know them all in English, but I want to know them all in Spanish. Maybe I'll become a botanist or something. Yeah.
And on this side of your beautiful experience here down on this planet.
Yeah. Mexico is a really abundant place. It's a really abundant place. And just the amount, like when you go to the market, every neighborhood has a market, which is really lovely. It's very old time. So you buy chicken from this guy and you buy and the fruit here, it's like there are so many fruits here that you just don't see in the States. And it's like, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? It's like, oh, look at that color. Ooh, what do you do with that? Ooh, it's very exciting to me.
I love it.
It's very exciting to me.
Like a kid in a candy shop.
It is. All right. Well, thank you so much for honoring me with your presence and for continuing to do what you do and for being my guest. And I mean, I have 78. I have 75 cards or 74 cards left to do. So I might ask you again to come on for another card.
I love it.
Because I don't know if I know 74 other reader, but maybe I do. I don't know. Or have yet to meet them. Who knows? So thank you. And thank you all for joining us. And I hope you all learned something and felt the Empress, because you have to feel the Empress.
You do.
Yeah, you have to feel her. That's the deal with her.
I'm giving you all a big Empress hug right now.
Yeah. In a big, fantastic dress. I should make some Empress dresses. That would be a great video. Okay, blessings. Okay, now I have to put on my glasses to turn off the recording, because otherwise I don't know what I'm doing. I'll press the wrong button now.